Je n'ai pas le temps de perdre la tête pour nous sauver de nous-mêmes.
also request you to kindly put your cell phones on vibrate mode. And now, we will begin tonight's program with a rocking number from Tufan, American High School's Bollywood dance team. Please give a warm welcome to Richa Marathe, Tamanna Dilip, Mehek Bhargava, Naina Kalra, Dia Jain and Anusha Nayak. Welcome to our Tree of Life Gala. My name is Sept, and it is my great honor to be your host for tonight. Community Seva has just completed its 5th anniversary, cooking and serving over 75,000 meals to the homeless right here in Sept. It has been recognized as California's Nonprofit of the Year for 2018. This tremendous honor is simple and goes to the core of why we named tonight's event the Tree of Life Gala. The tiny seed of Community Seva, which was planted 5 years ago, has, since its inception, grown phenomenally and organically into a loving, giving tree, which currently encompasses 1,700 volunteers. These selfless individuals come together week after week to serve fresh meals to those in need who might otherwise go hungry. We owe the growth and the success of our mission purely to the resolute dedication of these volunteers and the many sponsors and supporters who have worked so hard and given so generously of their time, energy, and resources. The purpose of tonight's event is twofold. It is a fundraiser for our organization, but it is also a recognition and an expression of gratitude to all the people who have been part of this amazing journey. We would like to extend our warm thanks and welcome to the elected officials who have graced this celebration with their presence. Thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight. We will now present a documentary on homelessness in the Bay Area and Community Seva's tireless efforts to alleviate its effects. Please enjoy.
used to work at Apple Incorporated as a software engineer, and then I drove for Uber and Lyft for a couple of years. Became homeless after an illness that put me out of work for a couple of weeks, and in the ICU for a week. And at that time, I was unable to cover the next month's rent, and so I ended up out on the street.
My last job was on the water for 9 years. But we lost our contract. It was for the Washington State Ferries, and so right now I'm homeless. So.
I'm a veteran, United States Navy, 14 years of service. Desert Shield, Desert Star veteran.
My dad worked for Lockheed. He was only 17 years old. My dad, he paid $16,500 for his home back in the 60s. I think back to my childhood. I didn't think then that I would be homeless, and I didn't think that I would be.
Being homeless a lot of it has to do with the price of homes over there. It's unaffordable. People are losing their jobs, and it's just right over here it's really too expensive for people to live.
Community Seva is a local non-profit organization formed right here in the Bay Area with a simple mission to feed the hungry and serve the homeless. We live in Silicon Valley, one of the 5th largest economy in the world, and it's hard to believe that homelessness even lives here. Today, in 5 years, with 1,700 volunteers, we fed over 75,000 delicious meals. It's hard for me to believe myself. We support several different type of shelter organizations, and one of them is Women and Children, where our volunteers go every single Sunday to cook and serve delicious hot breakfast.
Right now we have like 37, 14 children, and the rest are adults. And that number fluctuates. We have about to 16, 17-year-old children.
Very recently, one of the mom came up to us and said, we love Sundays, and we love this breakfast, and we love you guys. Because for her, that is the only day she gets to serve a hot, delicious breakfast to her own child.
Community Seva to me, is something, like I said, which has become so much of a passion as part of me. There's one element of feeding the homeless and taking care of the poor. And here in our backyard in the Bay Area, that we were missing out on. I think that was the gap that Community Seva came forward and fulfilled. And it's such a proud feeling to be part of that.
And rice and vegetables and coleslaw. And some ice cream. Ice cream was cool. Yeah, it always is.
Idea behind having this centralized kitchen will enable us to cook and serve more homeless people because so much of hunger is out in the community. And we could serve in one go 200 additional meals to the homeless people. And this could not have been possible without the support of City of San Jose, the Park and Recreation team, and few organizations who gave us the grant.
Hi, I'm California State Assembly Member Ash Kalra, representing District 27 here in San Jose. It's been an absolute honor to be able to recognize Community Seva as our nonprofit of the year 2018. Community Seva is all about the service, 100% volunteer run, and they're serving homeless people in a very loving way.
Today, we have 1,700 volunteers. Every single weekend, we have been having 5 diamond volunteers every single weekend. We have 32 core volunteers whom I proudly call them as the pillars of the organization. They stand shoulder to shoulder with me. Rain or shine, they are there every single weekend.
You guys' organization is incredible. Every time you guys come here with smiles and, you know, and I get choked up over it because it really means something to me. You know what I mean? Because you guys take your time and your money and your trouble to come here and do this for us. You know what I mean? And yeah, you guys are incredible. I can't say enough. You know, I have to thank you guys enough for what you guys do for us.
Thanks for the people helping for homeless. They bring us food, clothes, and backpacks, a lot of stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just really, thank you to Community Seva, thank you.
I slept and dreamt the life was joy. I awoke and saw life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, I'm here to share a story of how little gestures, seemingly insignificant at the time, grow something into larger that one cannot imagine. Since I was young, I always believed in sharing. The elders around me always said, feeding the poor is the best charity one can give. I always used to distribute food to the poor during my birthdays and festival days. After immigrating to America, I decided to do the same, to give out food to the homeless. My family and I used to make sandwiches and distribute to the homeless. Once a food inspector threw our sandwich into the trash and said, "We cannot feed the homeless this way." I pondered from the same inspector, what is the other way that we could feed? And that opened another door. So we started purchasing pizza, water, banana, cookie, and we used to distribute to the homeless on our birthdays, anniversaries, and special days. One thing led to another. Several of my friends seated here showed interest in joining hands with my family so that we could feed more. This one act of kindness multiplied. After working for 13 years, I lost my job for the first time in the United States. And it was a nightmare to land onto another job. In Silicon Valley, as you all know, if you are out of paycheck for 2 or 3 months, you could be easily the one among the homeless person you saw on the video. I was almost in that desperate stage as I struggled to get out to another job. In the spring of 2013, on a Sunday morning, I was taking my son to a tennis tournament. So he asked me, "Dad, we didn't go and feed the homeless people today. Who's going to feed them?" That little boy's words had a powerful impact on my mind that I started tossing the idea with like-minded people to bring them together so that these kind of kindness going on without depending on one single individual. Then I approached my good friend, a leader in community service, my mentor, Miles Minalji, who's sitting here. Through blessed idea, and Community Seva was born. From the initial days of Community Seva, the growing support from my friends enthused to do more. We set a goal one after another. I still remember our first Seva. 10 of my friends, we pitched in $25 and we collected $250 to serve dinner to an underprivileged family in San Jose. And out of the 10 friends, 8 of them are seated here today. Please pat yourself for that kickstart that led Community Seva where it is today. Little we did imagine on that day the impactful growth of the organization where it is today. As we marched along in this surplus service, our volunteers of Community Seva has witnessed several moving, touching, emotional incidences every time when we go and serve those little families and kids. As you saw in the video, we serve delicious breakfast to a group of women and children in the local center. They wait for our volunteers to come once a week. So the mothers get to do a hot breakfast to the children. Just imagine as a mom, how would you feel your kid is enjoying a hot breakfast? When we distributed first time the blankets in Sunnyvale in a shelter, one of the kids asked, "Dad, is there a bed there?" "I don't see it." Because the bed was only 1.5 inch thickness. So that observation by the child created such an impact on that family. They have been supported since then continuously. As a matter of fact, they are also here today. Some of our homeless friends have come up to us and said, "This is the best meal and only meal I may get today." And they said, "One day I want to come back and volunteer for you guys. I want to stand up on my own feet and I want to support you guys and give back." Every time we serve, the happiness on their face, like a loud clapping noise, beating their chest. They're expressing their happiness in their own way, words cannot express. Come and participate in Seva with us to feel it. There is no simply one reason why someone is homeless. The reasons are many. And we should not be judgmental. Every homeless person has a different story. I strongly believe that we all connected together as one people. It is just that humanitarian belief that no matter what who is on the street or no matter what who is on the shelter, why they are homeless, we must act. Ladies and gentlemen, we may not be able to eradicate homelessness, but we definitely make a difference in someone's life. That is the responsibility of every human being in this community. Imagine for a moment, you see an individual who is on the street, he or she is wet when it is raining, or he or she is freezing in winter and no money over a roof overhead. That is the life of many Americans today. If there is a child that is going hungry tonight, even though the child is not yours, a lady who doesn't have a home living on the street, even though she is not your sister or a friend, a senior citizen who is hungry wearing a veteran's hat, even though he is not your parent, it matters. It matters to everyone in this community. Community Seva has laid out an ambitious plan over the last 5 years. We have come a long way. From serving just 100 pizzas to 75,000 delicious meals, from 100 blankets to 3,000 blankets, from 100 hygiene kits to 4,000 kits, from 100 mobile showers to 7,000. None of these achievements I just listed cannot happen from one person's individual dream or passion. The army of 1,700 volunteers teamed up to carry out the Seva one weekend after another weekend. Rain or shine, whether it is a Diwali or a Christmas or a Thanksgiving, they are always there to serve these homeless people because we care. We do not just cook and serve. We put love as an ingredient and mix with them with the care and serve with the dignity and smile. I bow my head to all those wonderful volunteers And I sincerely request every one of you to please applaud them for their selfless service. Thank you. We live in Silicon Valley, the 5th largest economy in the world, and the number of homelessness increasing every day. We have about, in Santa Clara County alone, around 7,700 homeless individuals, of which 5,000 of them are sleeping on the streets. The average cost of the meal we serve, the breakfast we serve, is $2.50. The dinner is $3. $10 provides a mobile shower and a laundry to a person. Please do the math. Just $15.50 to cover a delicious breakfast, dinner, and a shower for a homeless person is not too much to ask. We now have a kitchen that needs several upgrades. Having our own kitchen allows us to reach more homeless. The number 100 seems to be a magic number for Community Seva. Do you remember? From 100 teachers to 75,000 meals, from 100 hygiene kits to 4,000 kits, and 100 blankets to 3,000 blankets, and 100 mobile showers to several thousand. Can we all come together and reach 100K tonight? Are you all with Community Seva today? Can we count your support? Without your support, Community Seva would not be where it is today. I go my best to all of you, but the ask is not over. Please do not think that I'm here and asking your money for a charity. Rather, consider this as an opportunity to invest your money in creating the change you want to see in the world. Everyone in this room are wealthy enough to a person sleeping on the street or sleeping on the shelter. Everyone in this room are wealthy enough to compare to a child who's waiting for our volunteers to come and cook breakfast. And every one of you is wealthy enough to compare to a guy who wants to take a shower once a week, maybe once a month. I promise, every penny of your donations will go directly to the cause to feed a deserving, underprivileged family in our own community. Please come forward and donate generously to Community Seva today. Dr. King said, the life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Thank you. Thank you so much for being the difference in someone's life and supporting Community Seva. Thank you so much. Now I request my great friend, great supporter, and advisory member of Community Seva, Assembly Member Ash Kalra, to do the fundraising.
All right. Well, I don't think I need to tell anyone here why we're here. It's remarkable. I've been out there with my father to cook and feed the homeless, and I've seen the impact it makes. And let's keep in mind, when we saw this video right now, to give you a little taste of what you're here to support and what you have been supporting, you saw the emotion, right? You saw the veteran, the Gulf War veteran, who was tearing up. He wasn't tearing up because he got fed a meal. That's not what he was tearing up about. He was tearing up because someone cares about him. Someone showed him love. Someone actually looked him in the eye and fed him. I mean, we think about it, many folks here are Indian American, South Asian, think about what it means when you invite someone into your home and you cook for them and you feed them, right? Well, they're going into shelters, they're cooking for people with their own hands and feeding them. That's all love. That's true Seva. And even when, and I've been there and I've seen it, you know, if the meal's a hot dog, they don't just give a hot dog. They'll make fresh veggies, they'll make fresh rice. They'll have a dessert for them. And that's the beauty of Community Seva. Community Seva is about the food, but it's about so much more. It's about why we do what we do when we serve others. It's about that human connection. And that's why it's been so successful. Nathan and his team, his core team, along with the 1,700 volunteers, have found a way, not just to make food, but to really, truly make love and present it and give the love that we have for one another to others. And so I'm here because, and I, you know, a lot of you see me at a lot of events, you don't see me on stage doing the fund in need or the fundraising. I don't do that for just anyone. I do that for Community Seva. Now, you all have these pledge cards, and as Nathan said, look, the reality is this. What they do costs money. But 100% of what you give goes to service, 100%. Now, a good nonprofit will have 90%. You know, maybe 10% overhead, 7% overhead, 12% overhead. That's like a highly rated A+ nonprofit. Well, you don't find 100%. It's 100% volunteer run. That means 100% of the money is going into feeding the homeless, getting them backpacks, showers, in now the brand new, the beautiful kitchen. I don't know how many people have seen this. If you haven't, you should go check it out. Beautiful commercial kitchen in San Jose that they're going to use to cook the food so they can feed even more people. And so we have these pledge cards on the table. Everyone in here can give something. I know that for sure. Everyone can give something. But the question is, how much can we give as a community? Because the needs are great. Now there's some numbers mentioned on the card. I'm going to ignore some of them off the top. Because I want to see if we can do something really special for Community Seva tonight. Now, Nathan mentioned that they want to get a minivan. They want to get a van so they can help move the food from their commercial kitchen in a proper way, have it stored properly so it's fresh. Again, the way that the food is cooked is the same way you cook for your own family. You know, it's not about just reheating leftovers, right? So if we're gonna, now, when we have a kitchen and we're gonna transport it, we wanna transport it in the same way as if we were catering your wedding or your family's get together or party. We wanna make sure that it's hot and fresh and prepared well. So I wanna see if there's anyone in here that would be willing to contribute $10,000 so that they can get this van. Is there anyone that would give $10,000 so that we can get this van and make sure that we can spread Community Seva, spread the love throughout our region? Is there anyone that can do that? Anyone that can give $10,000? This was not planned. My father just raised his hand. My dad's retired, everybody, just so you know. Okay, well, my father, and I'm telling you, if my father could do this, then all of you can give something. Who a lot of you know, and I love very much. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Is there anybody else? Anyone else that's going to match my father? The retired old guy from India. Come on now. There's got to be someone who's working right now that can match my father. Anyone? Anyone? It is amazing. We're going to now fully fund, get a beautiful van, that we can send food to people. It's amazing. Nathan, can you run a microphone over to our two other generous contributors and ask them why they're doing this? Thank you. So Nathan's my man on the mic now. Many skills. So please introduce yourself and tell us why you're matching my father.
Because of this man. I met Nathan at a friend's house, Maggie's house, and he was telling me about this project that he wanted to do. And I do a lot of nonprofit work for girl empowerment programs.
Please introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Sept Patel. My husband Dev Patel. I asked Nathan if I could work and make breakfast at his homeless shelters, and I did. And I brought my kids along, and we worked there as well. And it was really an eye-opener for me in many ways than one. We're so close and yet so far away from the reality. I see when giving the food to these people, you want to not judge them, you want to just give it to them, you want to be quiet. I was telling my son, to talk humbly to them. It taught a lot to us as a family. And I'm forever grateful to Nathan for introducing me to this. And I'm forever going to support this cause, because I think there's nothing more than feeding these people on special days every weekend. I've seen these volunteers working really hard. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think Nathan's a great reason to do Community Seva. And our other generous guest.
My name is Suman Chandra. This is my husband, Ravi Chandra. What I feel is there are few basic necessities for humans. It's food, shelter, and next to it is education. And I believe that when our tummies are full, we think better. Everybody in the world thinks better. So which means from the ground we are making a change, and then that allows us to think better. And so when we provide food, they are also going to act better. The whole world's going to act better.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Nathan, you want to microphone my father really quick? He has to have equal time, have the opportunity to say a few words. And while we're doing that, anybody else want to match these three very Nathan, first go back there. I see a hand.
I'm a newbie, so this is my first time to Community Seva. I want to actually bring to light Nikki, my friend, who I believe has been volunteering since inception. And I believe in her, and I believe in Nathan. And what really struck the most is what you mentioned about going 100% for the cause. And as we all know, even the best and the most rated have at least a 10% where for operational costs. So Nathan, if you're doing it 100%, I think it's a good cause, and we all have something to spare. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Nathan. Guess what? I see another hand in the back. Nathan's not going to sleep tonight. He's just too happy.
I run around everywhere. Every day.
He's going to keep running around. Thank you.
My name is Narayan Venkat. I just didn't want to get outdone by a dad.
When you shoot 2001.
So, kudos to him for actually bellying the cat instead of getting up there.
Yeah.
So, but there's an ulterior motive. So, for every time I have not shown up at the the Seva, and my wife had always been there, so I'm making up for all of that. Community Seva. Amazing. It's a blessing to have her in community.
All right, anyone want to join this incredible group of 5? One more! Look at that team. Amazing.
I cannot find a better supporter here. Oh, Adugaru.
Well, I mean, Nathan, Ash, you guys are incredible community leaders. We have been looking far and wide when we've had something brewing in just under our noses, and we've got to stop this from growing. If there's one thing you'd want to wish is for Community Seva to, a few years down the road, pivot to something better. So if there's a way we can solve this, then we'd love to be able to do this. Thanks for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you for those comments.
My name is Gala and this is Murli. He's part of the advisory board here. And I want to say thank you, Nathan. You do something that all of us want to do, but we're not able to. So we look up to you and thank you for allowing us to be part of you. You let us share our weekends with you. You let us come to a place that we want to be there. And thank you for that. And thank you for doing all of this. And for my group, we adore coming there and being with you and just helping out. Thank you very much. And we are with you.
You already have 5 people joining. Anyone else want to join my father? And this group of 6 amazing, generous, just loving people. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes.
I'm not a very good speaker. I forgot all the speaking, techniques now. But my father told me that if you feed hungry people, that's the best thing you can do. Don't give money, give food. So he used to do that, and I'm just honoring his wish in that sense.
Can you hand the microphone to our congressman really here? I want to ask our congressman what he thinks about this generosity. We live in one of the most expensive places in the world, and we have 6 people that just like that are giving $10,000 to Community Seva. Congressman McCunna, how does that make you feel?
Welcome, Congressman Ravana. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, it makes me feel proud because while our Congress messes everything up and cutting all these things, we've got a community here that's stepping up and doing it. So thank you, and what an honor, Mr. Collar. Thank you for setting the example.
Thank you. Thanks, Roland. Thank you, Congressman McCunna, to these 6 incredible angels. Thank you. And I think that this is going a long way. What a great way to start this. Anyway, I'm going to go on to the next, and it's also not on the sheet, because why go there now? So you heard that it costs $3 per dinner. I want to see who would like to contribute $3,000 to provide 1,000 dinners. 1,000 dinners to those in need. Who would like to contribute $3,000 for 1,000 meals? And like I said, I've been there. I think many, Yogi. Thank you. Thank you. Who's going to follow our great community leader, Yogi Cho?
We have Jim.
2.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jim.
That's already 2,000 dinners in the back.
Thank you. Thank you, Suchi.
In the back again.
Thank you, Deepali. Thank you.
We just raised $12,000 from 4 incredibly generous, loving people. There's another one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Another one there?
Yeah, I just, next to yeah, thank you.
Was there another one? Did we here? 7. Let's get to 10. Let's get to 10. So we have 7. 7 generous souls have contributed $3,000. In the back, 8. That second one? 9. Where's number 10?
Number 10.
Number 10. Number 11. 12, 20. All right, anybody else? That's amazing.
I'm going to skip a dinner for a week, for sure. My tummy is
11 generous souls. And so that's 11,000 people are going to be fed dinner. A wholesome, loving people. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to get to the punch going. So, you heard. Has anybody heard of Dignity on Wheels or other services like that, right? Amazing, right? Dignity on Wheels brings a shower to homeless shelters or to areas where there are homeless encampments. And the vehicle it pulls a bunch of water behind it, and it's connected to showers as well as laundry machines. We've got a washer and a dryer too. And so for $10, one of our homeless residents can get a shower and laundry done once a week. For $10, think about that. Once a week, and that one shower, if they didn't get that, they wouldn't have a shower at all. So, for $1,000, we can get 100 people their shower and their laundry done. $1,000. And we saw the generosity, the 10,000. 11 people gave $3,000. So we've got to have a bunch of hands up in the air. Right, Yogi? A bunch of hands up in the air for $1,000. What do we say? $1,000, you're going to get 10 showers. 100 people will get showers and laundry done. 100 people for $1,000. And keep in mind, this is going out in the community, $10 each. You go to the shelter, you go to an encampment, you go where they are, where the people in need are. $1,000. Where are we at $1,000? In the back. Is that Sachin?
Sachin.
All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the back. I see 6 in the back.
Thank you, Mani.
Right here. Hands and shoes, 7. Another one in the back, 8.
Thank you, Lalita.
9, 10. And these
Thank you.
These are all the volunteers, right?
And when we give showers, we will also be giving them a new towel and a change of clothes, not just the shower, and we will be serving breakfast too.
That's 11. I'm going to be number 12. So I'm going to be number 12. So let's add some more. We had to pass 11 because we had 11 for 3,000. 13. 14. 15. Let's keep going.
16.
16.
17.
17. Where's 18? I saw someone in the back? 18 in the back. Right here, Thomas for 19.
Thank you.
All right. We're at 19. Let's keep going. This is fun. We're at 19. You have to get to 20. I mean, that's a given. 20. Table 9. All right, we're at 20. 20. And you know, when you're homeless, you cannot underestimate what it feels like to be able to have a shower. 21.
Thank you.
21. You cannot underestimate what it feels like to be able to have a shower, to do your laundry. Things that we take for granted. 22. 22.
Thank you.
Here at table 7, that's 22. You cannot underestimate what it feels like. The things we take for granted oftentimes. We're rushing to work. I'm just going to jump in the shower. Right? Come home, we feel a burden to do laundry. It's a burden for us to do laundry. The others are blessed to be able to do laundry. Let's get to 25. We're at 22. I think we need to get to 25. So who are the 3 more generous souls that are going to get us 25? Who's out there? Who's out there? We're at 22. Anyone else? 23 and 24. 23 at table 21. Patty Cortese is 24. 25. All right, 25. Thank you. 26. 26. I like going above and beyond our goals, right? That's beautiful. 26. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
27. Thank you. Thank you, Yogi. Thank you to your father.
One more, 28.
28. Now we have to get to 30. 28. 28. Who's next? 2 more. 29. Beautiful.
Thank you, Manish.
Let's get to 30. Who's our 30th? 30. At table 22. Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, we're going to move down the card now. All right, so we're going to move on down to 500. And so, I don't know if you know this, I think it was briefly mentioned, Community Seva, particularly during the winter time, they'll get backpacks for the homeless. Now, it's different than the backpack drives for school children. It's actually a backpack filled with supplies that they'll need, toiletries, things like maybe socks, things that they'll need when they're out living in the streets, because they literally are living in the streets, living in our creeks, living along the freeways. And for $25, you can get a backpack full of supplies. So for 20 backpacks, that's $500. Who wants to get 20 backpacks for $500? 20 backpacks for $500. To those that need it, 5, let's go. Right here is 1, table 7, table 20, thank you, that's 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's already 5. Let's keep this going.
6.
Cindy Chavez, 6.
6. Thank you.
7. Mr. Hendricks, 7. Let's keep going. 8.
Thank you.
9. Nancy, 9. 10 back there.
Thank you.
Who else? I see one in the back?
Yes.
11. Is that right? 11? Yes, 11. Yeah, 11. Where else? Where else are we? $500. Now, I know a lot of our generous souls already give 1,000, 3,000, 10,000. I get that. So we may not get to 50 like I want to. But, so we're at 11? Where's number 12? Number 12, there we go.
Thank you, SG. Thank you.
Where's 13? Where's 13? 20 backpacks full of really helpful supplies. Where's 13? Right there, thank you. Where's 14? 14, thank you. Is there another one? 15, thank you for it, once again.
Once again, thank you.
15, so let's go to 16. 16, thank you. Well, we gotta get to 20 now. Is there another one? 17, thank you. That's 17. Who else? $500 backpacks. 18, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get 2 more. What do you say? 2 more. Can we get 2 more? Can we get 2 more? Yes, we can. Si se puede, 19. 1 more.
There's one more. Thank you.
20. Marina, thank you. All right. Okay. Now we're going to go to, we have 2 more levels left I want to go through, okay? Breakfast, $2.50. 100 breakfasts for $250. 100 breakfasts. Let's nourish folks in the morning. 100 breakfasts, $250. $250. Stacy, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ita, thank you.
What else do we? 2, 3, 4, Fantastic, thank you so much.
Thank
Who
you.
else? 250.
Thank you, Praveen.
5.
All our volunteers
6 in
are
the
there.
back. And all these are all volunteers.
These are all our volunteers.
These are all volunteers that are giving. 6 in the back. Who else we have? 7. 8. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny.
8. Where else are we? 9? Did I say 9? 9. Thank you. 10. Thank you, Skita. 10. Who else? Who else? 11. Thank you.
Thank you.
11. 12. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishali.
What else are we? 12. 13. 13. Let's keep it going. 100 breakfasts. You're eating right now. Think about that. That connection, right?
14.
14. 15.
Thank you, Sangeeta.
Any more? Let's go. We can get 25 of these. All right, 15. Ready? Who else? 16. Excellent. Thank you, sir. 16. Any more? Breakfast. 17. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you.
17. Who's 18? Who's 18? Who's 18? Let's get to 20. 18. Thank you, Magdalena. 19. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're at 19. Let's get one more. One more? Where? 20. Thank you so much. 21. All right.
Thank you.
21. Who else? Who breakfast? See, when I get to 21, now I want to be 25. 21. Who else? Anybody else? 22. Thank you. 22. 3 more. Who can do 3 more? 3 more.
$250.
$250. 100 breakfasts. Who's number 23? Can we do 23? All right. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Well, thank you so much. 22 generous souls.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Just funded 100 breakfasts each, $250. And now, $100. So, for $100, what can we do for $100?
We can do dinner, we can do breakfast, we can do shower, we can do backpack, anything.
Everything. This is it.
Yes.
This is the all-encompassing one. Right? This is where we want to see everyone's hands come up. All right? Hello, let's go!
Let's go, Ananda.
Hellos! 1, the back. 2, 3. I'm seeing a lot of young people. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, thanks for shouting. 11, 12, yeah, thank you. That's 12. How many more? 100? 13,
14. Thank you, Shiva.
14. Ready? Let's go.
15,
16, 17.
Oh my God.
18. Let's go back to the side of the table. In the back. In the front. We're at 18.
17 is an odd number. Let's get an even number.
18. We're at 18 now. Next one's 19. Next one's 19. 19. Thank you.
Thank you.
19. 20. All right. We don't like those even numbers there. We're at 20. What else can we do for 100? Who else can do 100? Who else can do 100?
21.
21. Thank you. Thank you. That's 21. 22. Thank you. Table 8. Got you. 22. Let's get to 25. Where are we? Raise your hand up. 23.
Thank you so much.
24. Cameraman. 24. The cameraman. 25. All right. Anybody else? Well, I gotta tell you, is there more? This is remarkable. I do a lot of these things. This is remarkable what you all are doing. The amount of money that you've raised. So please fill out the pledge card for the amount you pledged. And for anyone that hasn't given, give something. $5. $10, $50, $75. Give something. Give some Seva. We just did an extraordinary thing in the last few minutes. Extraordinary thing. And this is going to set Community Seva up, not just for the next year, but this is the foundation for many years to come. What you contribute tonight, what you contribute tonight is the foundation for many, many years to come. I'm so proud of all of you. I'm proud of my dad the most, but I'm proud of all of you. And so, I'd like to invite up our Congress member, Rob Khanna, who's been a big supporter of Community Seva. And I hope we're giving him some hope. I hope that with all he has to put up in DC, that we're giving him some hope tonight in what we just saw right now.
Well, thank you. I'm not going to speak long, but I want to recognize Nathan for your incredible leadership. Let's give Nathan a round of applause. We started this 5 years ago, and it's just amazing that you've been able to mobilize so many volunteers and serve almost 75,000 meals. So that's not just a testament to you, it's a testament to everyone out there. And the fact that you have our great assembly member, Ash Keller, was an advisor. I know he was involved in this from the beginning. Ash is just such a giving human being at his core. Let's give Ash you've got Canson Chu and Daisy Chu here, and Patty Cortez. And Patty, you were involved too in the beginning. Patty, thank you for everything. And Sydney Chavez, the mayor, and Nancy Smith. It's a testament to you and your leadership. I'm glad my friends like Yogi Chutney are becoming such a generous Yogi and Monica. So I will just say this, we live in a time in this area where the gap between those of us who have been fortunate to do well and those who are struggling has increased. And that's true not just in our community, it's true around the country. And unfortunately, our nation's capital at this time does not have the empathy and compassion that is necessary to address that. But all of you do, and I am so proud that I get to represent a district with these values. Thank you.
I don't want to choke again, but my heart is so full, and from my bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everyone who has contributed today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ash. You cannot be done. Just without you, this would not have happened. I didn't even imagine that I don't even know that I lost the account. I don't even know what the money is. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Our volunteers will come now and walk around and collect your pledge card. Whoever is, raise your hand, and whoever is still not, once you finish your dinner, if you still decide and if you could support, I would really appreciate that. So please complete the pledge card and hand it out to our volunteers. Thank you so much. Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you, Ash, for your unstinting support and for the amazing answer to space. And the audience, please give yourselves a round of applause. What incredible things, unbelievable, and the lives you've touched will come have created this purely with intention and steely determination, and we're all about unity. Ladies and gentlemen, our deepest gratitude to Sangeeta and Dakshin Restaurants for their generosity and support. While you're enjoying their delicious food, you will also be treated to a video about the famous speed painter Vilas Nayak. Vilas is a self-taught artist from India who started painting at the age of 3. He has performed with some of the most prestigious venues in India and 23 other countries, including the UN General Assembly, the Asian Achievers Award in London, the NBA halftime show for legend Tim Duncan. Apart from entertaining the audience, Vilas believes art can create social change, and hence his work is often centered around peace and harmony in the world. He actively participates in various fundraising events and by auctioning live works. He would have really liked to be among us tonight, but since he was unable to be here in person, he has sent a beautiful painting from India for our silent auction of a universally adored figure, a name synonymous with selfless service. It is a very valuable, stunning piece, and it is available for purchase in the silent auction area outside. Please do view it, and please do support us by viewing it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Namaste. I'm Vilas Nayak, a speed painting artist from India. During one of my visits to the Bay Area, our dearest Mahesh Nidhaniji connected me to Nathan Ganeshan, and then I got to know about the tremendous work that is being done by Community Seva in the Bay Area. So wonderful to know Community Seva is doing their first ever fundraiser Gala on September 22nd. I would have loved to be there, but I'm sending a very special painting that will be auctioned. It's a live artwork of Mother Teresa created in a matter of few minutes. I'm sending this very special painting because both Mother Teresa and Community Seva believe in the noble cause of caring and feeding the poor and homeless. Here's an opportunity for all of you to own this piece of artwork, at the same time contribute to this noble cause. Open your hearts and bid for this painting. Thank you so much.
Make a little space.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to see some wonderful people out here. I just wanted to say that Vilas Nayak, who you saw painting out here, is one of the fastest painting artists of the world. Very well renowned. Has been here to the invitation of NBA, painted people like Tim Duncan and also our stars like Sept and all that. He was supposed to be here today, but his wife delivered a body boy a couple of days back. He couldn't be here. But he made this painting especially for Community Seva and Mother Teresa especially because Mother Teresa believes in virtues that Community Seva believes in. And this painting is outside for auction, a silent auction. So please, Vilas Nayak painting today demands a lot of value. It's a collectible and it's Mother Teresa painted in just 4.5 minutes. So please, people who admire and love culture and art, lovely opportunity for you. So please try and contribute the maximum you can. Thank you so much.
Volunteers will be stopping by your tables again, so if you haven't had a chance to complete them, please do so, and be sure to hand it to them. Thank you. The next item in this evening's entertainment lineup will be Priya's Magic Home, based on the short story by Shanaz Nahji. It will be presented by Nurani Dance. Founded and directed by Farah Yasmin Shah, Nurani exemplifies Farah's unique artistic expression and vision, coupled with the classical and innovative style of her group, the late Kathak maestro Pandit Chitresh Das. Please welcome onto stage the performers of Priya's Magic Home: Vyomika Gupta, Shreyoshi Sarkari, Aranya Shukla, Tanvi Sidhe, Anjali Vedya, Meera Kapoor Valera, Sajni Gaitonde, Vanshika Goyal, Samara Patil, Meera Ranganath, Ayana Rao, Parthavi Jain, Eva Mathur, Anushka Rati, and Aziza Munshi.
Priya's father worked far away in the city. When he was away, Priya's stepmother would make young, sweet Priya do all of the household chores, and she was never satisfied with anything that Priya did. As our story continues, we will see that young, sweet, and generous Priya receives a magical gift, and instead of keeping it all for herself, she shares her good fortune with those in need. Priya, going about her daily chores with her friends in her village. in her eyes. She is never satisfied with Priya and treats her horribly whenever her father is away. On this day, Priya's stepmother decides to kick Priya out of their home. The stepmother scrapes some dry, stale rice out of a pot, dumps it into a cloth, and throws it at Priya. Priya begs to be able to stay. She says she will do anything asked of her, but her stepmother ignores her. She pushes Priya out the door with nowhere to go and nothing but this little bit of food. Devastated, she wanders through her village. She finds herself further and further away, eventually in the dark forest. Exhausted from her sad, lonely, and frightful day, Priya takes her cloth filled with the horrible rice and ties it up in a tree while she cries herself to sleep. As the nighttime forest comes alive, the trees sway gently in the evening breeze. And while Priya sleeps, she is about to receive a visit from the Milpitas, forest nymphs. They see the young girl sleeping in the middle of the forest, wondering where she came from and why this child is alone. wakes up. dark forest, and now with no food to eat. The Manadevatas appear. Priya is scared, but the Manadevatas put her mind at ease and they tell her, "Don't worry, Priya. We have made you magical. All you have to do is ask. All you want will appear." Priya does as they say, and so much food starts coming from her magic bowl. She begins eating and eating. She can't finish all the food. She doesn't want to waste it and decides to take it to the poor at the mandir. As Priya arrives at the Durga Mandir, she pays her respects and departs the room. She then calls out for more food from her magic bowl. And she begins feeding all of the poor and hungry. They also made her a magic bowl. Now, unlike what they gave to Priya, this bowl is going to play tricks on the stepmother. They quickly run away as she wakes up. The stepmother wakes up, angry with herself for falling asleep. And then she sees her clock, quickly opens it, and finds a magic bowl inside. With an evil laugh, she quickly rushes home to show off her bowl to all of her friends, not knowing what the devatas had really given her. She invites her friends to a dinner, ready to provide a feast for them. Magic bowl. She has no idea that instead of food, from all of her friends, snakes will
I guess, my apologies, I guess we missed is my own District 8 Council member, Sylvia Arenas. Sorry. I think my 2 hands won't be enough. I would like to request my board members, Priya Ramdas, Saras Venkatram, Bharat Rangasamy to please join me here. Thank you so much, all the elected officials, taking their busy time for their busy schedule, for being here. It means a lot to me and Community Seva. Thank you.
Yeah, Priya!
Priya gang here.
Get a selfie out. Number 2. Number 2. Yeah. Okay.
Soon Community Seva need an office to hang all these recommendations and recommendations. That's my next one.
We would now like to present special surprise awards to the 5 jewels who have stood by Community Seva like rocks over the last 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may please ask you to take your seats, this is a very, very important part of the night. Thank you so much. Thank you. The people that are receiving these next 5 awards are not just volunteers. They were the initial pillars of the organization. Without them, we would not be here tonight. Starting with Alamelu Krishnamurthy. Every great man is a woman, and this has never held more true than here at Community Seva. Alamelu, also known as Lakshmi, is Nathan's better half. Express her contribution and support to Nathan and to the Community Seva family. She has been the backbone of the organization. Her incredible attention to detail in overseeing the finances and her commitment to ensuring every penny is accounted for has resulted in clean and transparent audits, winning us not just the admiration of our CPAs when it comes to filing taxes, but the 2018 Platinum Seal of Transparency from Gala. She and their boys, Sai Kiran and Sai Charan, have never hesitated to step up and head volunteer whenever there is an entire need for extra management. Without her unflinching support, it would have been impossible for Nathan to dedicate his life to building Community Seva. She has stood by him year after year and anchored him as he has had to spend countless hours away from his family in service to the organization and the community. It is our great honor and pleasure to recognize Lakshmi tonight. Seva with her extensive experience in passion for whenever we needed her support. She goes above and beyond the call of duty to ensure Sevas proceed seamlessly. If for some reason traditional routes are running into obstacles, she is always there. It is our blessing that she is an integral part of the Community Seva family. Thank you, Geeta. We are deeply grateful. The third jewel is Maggie Rangan. Maggie is our outreach everything in our power to help spread the word about Community Seva. Maggie's entire family is involved in the effort and they are always ready to lend a hand. She was instrumental in establishing critical partnerships with several corporations, including her own employer, to help us obtain grants. We cannot thank her enough. Priya's door is the first one Nathan knocked on when he set out to build this Sept organization. At that time, she did not know what she was getting into when she signed up to be a part of this journey. Since then, Priya has led the entire operations team in terms of feeding and shopping initiatives, never shying away from accepting additional sevas. Not to mention the fact that her passion for cooking was put to use in the most meaningful way. Priya is one of the board members of Community Seva. We are deeply grateful to her for her contribution. Last but not least, the person whom we rely on for every bit of our design and marketing materials. Cannot be overstated. You can see her creative efforts in everything, from designing the logo to our beautiful website to all the slides you saw here today. Every one of these endeavors has Saras's magic touch behind it. She has shouldered immense responsibility to help build the organization's branding and visibility. Her undying commitment to Community Seva has earned her the title of board member and executive director. Saras, we please give them an enormous round of applause. Our final award for the night is the U.S. Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and it is being presented to someone who is deeply deserving of it. Our volunteers don't get paid because we cannot measure their worth in volunteer. With over 20 sevas in 1 week, in 1 month, efficiently scheduling sign-ups to ensure every one of our lead volunteers has enough coverage, and to coordinate details including reminding volunteers about parking, sponsors' birthdays, etc. is a humongous task. But this amazing person manages to handle it all seamlessly and effortlessly. The Community Seva team calls her a blessing and a God-sent angel. Our warm congratulations. Volunteer Services Organization, ladies and gentlemen.
I request Anita to please put the spin on Shriya.
please come on stage and give the vote of thanks.
You know, some days I wake up and I read the news and I just feel so disheartened. It just feels like the world is just a bad place. But now I know that this is not true. Why is this? Because day after day, year after year, I have been astounded by the generous hearts and the infinite dedication of all our volunteers. It is just remarkable to me that our volunteer coordinator, who just comes to the board, she just sends out a quick message on Facebook and says, can someone come in this weekend for a breakfast seva or a dinner seva? And without fail, till now we always have someone sign up. Not only in cash income, but they actually show up at 4 a.m. in the morning and they give hours of their time on their holiday weekends, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. So this has been so heartening to me. When I began working with Nathan 5 years ago, it was just a logo, a vision, and we started with a website and a dream. I was really excited, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go out there and help a lot of people. Little did I know that what I would receive in return would be so much more. Now here I am, 5 years later, having experienced the most touching moments, whether they were in a homeless shelter, handing out winter backpacks, or discussing homelessness with a room full of third graders who have the most unique and interesting questions. This opportunity to serve that Community Seva has given me has been the biggest blessing in my life. Most importantly, it has renewed my belief in the generosity and the humanity that's inherent in our very own neighbors, families, and friends. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend some time with us tonight. Every single one of you has played a crucial role in the growth of our organization, and what started as a tender root of an idea has now grown into the tree of giving that you saw. Speaking of the tree, you all must have noticed the beautiful tree outside and taken pictures in front of it. Did you all know that our wonderful youth coordinators are the ones who created this lovely boundary? In addition, please notice the tables with number cards in your tables and the designs on it. That was by the youth volunteers. They also created and designed beautiful trees in front of you. These kids also cook, they lead care bag sevas, and so much more. These little children have set a stellar example to their siblings and to all the other youth in the community by showing empathy towards those less fortunate and stepping up at this tender age to make a difference. I cannot wait to see where they will go next. A special shout out to Sai Charan, wherever he is. Hey Dad, we're going to feed them this weekend, brought us to this moment today. This is what started the idea of Community Seva. So a young child can make a big difference. Time to thank our sponsors. This was our very first fundraising event, and without all of their generosity, we could not have enjoyed this wonderful evening. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. First, our platinum sponsors. Platinum sponsors, kindly do stand up to receive your awards when I say your name. Health Trust, Net to Source, Shasta Foods, your awards as I say your name. Asha Pediatrics, El Camino Hospital, G-Form LLC, Multi-Coreware, and Palo Alto Medical Foundation. Thank you. Finally, I'd like to thank for those who awarded with grants this year. We're still learning, we're really infant organization, and we're just learning how to start writing grants. And these amazing people have been one of our first grant awardees. They are Corning Foundation, PayPal Giving, and Lamb Research. giving all our sponsors a round of applause. By the way, I hope you all enjoyed your appetizers and dinner tonight. I thought it was delicious. Thank you to Dakshin and Sangeeta Restaurant for preparing this sumptuous meal. And their staff for this wonderful venue and all the support they've been providing to us. Coming back to our tree of life banner, a big thank you to Vaidehi Parekh of Vaidehi Creative Arts for leading the youth in this project week after week. Kudos to Tufan and the students of Nurani Dance for their amazing performance. And a huge thank you to the amazingly talented artist, Puneet Kumar Pratap. The sounds that you heard in the and all of these artists deserve a big round of applause. Thank you to our photographers, Prasanna and Srinivas, and our videographer, Leo. I'm sure you all are as excited as me and can't wait to see the pictures and photos and the videos from this event. If you want to see them, follow us on Facebook. Just look for Community Seva. Also visit our website, communityseva.org, and you will see the pictures there. Finally, all of us at Community Seva are so happy that you could come and celebrate our 5th anniversary and our very first gala event with us tonight. I hope you continue to enjoy the rest of the evening and, most importantly, continue to help the homeless in our community. Good night and thank you all.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, before we commence with the funnest part of the evening, the dancing, which I know everyone's eagerly waiting for, I'd like to remind you, please take a look at some of the silent promotional items that you haven't had a chance to do so yet, and please remember some of these items include Amazon Echo, Southwest e-vouchers, jewelry by PNG, Disney tickets, and a spa. All of them have been donated, and all the proceeds from the sale will benefit Community Seva. Thank you all again for being such wonderful supporters. We had a great evening. We'll see you again next year. The dance floor is now open, and our DJ Arnav Goswami is ready to play some rollicking music. We have the hall till 11 p.m., so please do enjoy yourself. Thank you and good night.
Hey,